Lesson 6.3e, Financial Literacy. It's calculating simple interest. Simple interest is the amount of money paid or earned for the use of money. To find simple interest I, you use a formula. I equals P times R times T. Principal times rate times time. Principal is the amount of money that you borrow or that you save, but it's the amount that you're earning interest on or paying interest on. The rate is a percentage. It is a percentage, but you have to write it as a decimal. And time, it's important to remember time is always years, because sometimes they might say 6 months. Don't put in 6 if they say 6 months. 6 months is half a year, so you'd put in 0.5. So time is always years. So on this, you've got to remember this formula. Interest equals principal times rate times time. The principal is going to be the money amount. The rate is going to be the percentage. You write it as a decimal. The time is always in years. You're going to use this formula to calculate the amount of interest. You're going to put in the dollar amount, the percentage rate, the time in years, and you're going to calculate the interest. Sometimes the questions will ask you to simply calculate the interest. You plug those numbers in, multiply it, you got it. It's money. Sometimes it might ask you how much money after so many years. So that means take your interest and include it with your original amount of money, the principal. And then that will tell you how much total money you have after a certain time. Now, I want to go look at some of these examples. This is just a matter of, for right now, multiplying. So, these exercises, it is only asking you for the interest earned. That's all it's asking for. Find the simple interest earned to the nearest cent for each principal, rate, and time. So, on number 1, you're going to write, on every one of these, I'm going to require that you write the formula so you memorize it, okay? So you're going to write I equals P times R times T. Interest equals principal times rate times time. Number 1 says $300, 5%, 2 years. When I go plug the numbers in, what's my principal? What's the principal amount, Jacob? $300. What is the rate as a decimal? Dylan?
0.05.
0.05. And what is the time in years? What's the time in years, Caden? How many years does it say on number 1? 2 years. And you actually just write those in, and you take 300 times 0.05 times 2, and I get 30. So you would answer $30. Okay, let's look at number 5. You're going to write I equals P times R times T. How much is the principal amount on number 5? Mason? $1,665. What is that rate as a decimal? It says 6.75%. Oh my goodness. What is that as a decimal? I see a decimal there, but it's still a percentage. Yes, 0.0675. And how many years is it? 3. Okay, so 1,665 times 0.07675 times 3 years, and I get this. 337.1625. What would my final answer be? Dylan?
$337.16.
Exactly right. We're going to do one more. One more. Number 7. $903, 8.75% in 18 months. Interest equals principal times rate times time. What's my principal? Mason? $903. What is the rate as a decimal? Dylan?
0.0875.
0.0875. Now here's the question of the day. 18 months. What's the time, Liam?
That's
A year and 6 months. How am I going to write that? Huh? Nope. What am I? So it's 18 months. I got to put it in terms of years. 1 year, but it's 18 months. What? Yes, you do. 18 months. How many months are in a year? 12. So it's at least 1. How many months left over? 6. So 6 months is what part of a year? Nope. You said 12 months for a year. How many is 6? A half. So 1.5. 18 months would be 1.5 years. So 903 times 0.0875 times 1.5, and I get this big long decimal. 118.51875. What would be my final answer? Emily. $118.52. Good job. Questions? Caden. Okay, good question. On number 8, 3 months. 3 over 12. What fraction is that? 1/4. So you do 0.25. That's a good question. Anybody else? What about this 1 3/4 year? What decimal could you use for that? 1.75. Okay, good.